Hey YouTubers, welcome to my channel. Tony here. Tony's LPs Are Us. Today I'm wearing my shades and my hat because we're going to celebrate an album, Miles Davis, One Step. Everybody knows what it is. I've done multiple videos on it. I ordered this record, I believe, in November of 2021. So it's been a long time coming. Just got it. We're just going to cut it open. We're actually going to unbox it. I'll even clean it on my cleaner because people like to see jazz records go round and round other than on a turntable. So we're going to clean in a VPI. Here's Miles here. We're going to talk about it. You all know about it. It's in this album covers to die for, A Brief History. And this is a funny story. I'll tell you about this book. I have a lot of books about album covers and things, as most of you guys do. But I want to thank everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It's Monday. I finally got this order in either Thursday or Friday. I believe Friday. So Music Direct ships it out. What happened was I ordered it, and I was getting notices through the years that, do you still want it? Do you still want it? Do you still want it? And I just said, yeah, I still want it, whatever. And then I get a notice last week that, well, first I saw on Facebook that this thing was shipping and it wasn't available. So I checked Music Direct, it was still available. Then that same day I get an email that if I do not respond to this email, since my order is so old, it's actually almost as old as the album, they will cancel the order. So I waited a few days, and then I finally contacted Music Direct and said I still want the album. So I kind of delayed it by a few days, and I got it today, which is Monday. So I'm gonna unseal it here on tape. I'm gonna clean it on tape, and then we're gonna listen to it. And I'm going to actually maybe do an A/B with this one. This is a Columbia from analog tape to digital processing. At that point, digital was all the rave. This sounds good. This is a Columbia Jazz Masterworks. So I don't have an original, an OG. I have some other Miles 6Is and 2Is and regular Columbias and CDs, but I don't have that. That's my only copy of the BREW, as we say. So what we're going to do is we're going to, here he is on the cover, Music Direct. So they kind of knew. Although it's funny, in this particular edition, which is the latest edition of their catalog, if you don't have the catalog, man, write to Music Direct. I think they'll send them out to you. They're really cool. Really, for your shelf. It's great. Great albums in here. This is mostly a equipment issue, but there's a lot of LPs in here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these off. How you doing? We'll take this off. How you doing? And I want to thank everyone again. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, please consider subbing, like, and subscribe. We're trying to build the numbers so that we get into those algorithms. And here we go. We have the packing slip. I didn't take that off. I'll do that later on. And we'll hide the receipts from you-know-who. So there we go. All right. You can see it right there. It's in there. Packed pretty good. And here it is. Wow. Ultra Disc One Step. I wish they would put this in an outer plastic sleeve for you when it's bouncing around. But this one looks unscathed, as we say. Unscathed. The Ultimate Vinyl Experience Original Master Recording. Directions and Music by Miles Davis. Miles Davis. Ultra One Step Pressing by Mobile Fidelity Sound. This is a cool number. Like I said, I ordered this from day one. This is out of 5,000, so these are going to go fast. Only 5,000 pressed. They may never press them again, because I think they had some type of difficulty with Columbia or the Miles Davis estate or whoever owns the rights to this. I know Wayne Shorter also wrote some of these tunes with Miles on this record. And so this is number 250. So let's see there. Great album, depicts the cover. And before I open it, we'll read the back. Mastered by Craig Wunderlich, assisted by Sean Britton, or Britton, at Mobile Fidelity Sound. Sebastopol, California on Gain 2, specifically plated and pressed on 180 high definition vinyl. 33 1/3. This isn't a 45, it's a double record. For the price, it's pretty good. So you get the double record for 125 plus any other taxes that you may incur. Stereo, a 1/4 inch tape, 15 inches per second. Analog master to DSD64 to analog console to lathe. Typical. And you all know the history. I talked about the history of this great product, the One Step. I'm going to pull this, try to just keep the shrink on here. I really need the bigger covers for these. These are the slimline One Steps, which I really like. It fits better on the shelf. The other packaging, the 45 RPMs, the double one with the box, they come apart. They're awkward. So there's that. There's the LPs, and there's 2 LPs. I believe this entire double LP runs about 93, 94 minutes. So it's pretty long. They really packed a lot. So this record really needed this type of reissue. And don't forget, it was also on Mobile Fidelity in the past. I'm sure we're going to see some of my colleagues on YouTube ABing them with one of those. I don't know. I know Kenny, his audiophile, is getting this. He wrote, did a little video on it. He may have other copies. I'm sure he has other copies that maybe he'll AB. Not sure which ones, but the commemorative blade, unsyringed, if you may. So, show you what we got. Here's an original master recording cover, which is nice hard stock. Wow, this is nice. This is a treat. Wow. It's Miles Davis by Dunn Hudson, Sony Music Archives. 1970 originally, and printed for 2025. So really nice. Look at this, guys. This will be in the box. I'm not going to display it. He's fooling around with some type of pop art, probably in the Columbia Studios, now Sony. So that's a really nice treat. Did not know about that. You get the original liner notes that was on the original 6i or 2i, probably. A 2i, I would say. It's a picture of Miles. I'm not really I don't really love this photo, although he is smiling, but I would like to see an action shot. And I would love to have seen photos of the band rather than this little 8x10 or whatever. Maybe a whole ensemble or whoever they had, you know, at that time that recorded that's on the album. Because there are outtakes with, like I said, Billy Cobham is not on the record, but he's on the outtakes or the additional records, the additional songs. So there you have that. And then I'll talk about the actual cover. Here's the vinyl. Make sure I've got the correct letters, because there are times when, check your records, and that's the problem when people are maintaining these records sealed. You know, once this runs out and you have a problem with the record, you're not going to get a replacement. They do have copies to replace in stock. I know Music Direct replaced some things for me, some split seams or whatever, but this seems good. But you know, that's the unfortunate part. I have records sealed too, and it's always a thought, is that record going to have a manufacturing defect? But you know, we live with that as a collector. So this is side 1. And this matches, I'm not a fan of the matted covers here. They're matted. So you do have fingerprints, and if anything ever gets on here wet, that's gonna take it. Now Pharaoh's Dance, side 1. The BREW is on side 2. And this is disc 3, so that's correct. Spanish Key with John McLaughlin. And here you have Miles Runs the Voodoo Down, Sanctuary. So what's good about their packaging now, they do not put the record in these sleeves, because what was happening, these were moving around. And if I ever mail a record out, if I ever sell a record, I take the record out of the sleeve, and if it's an original inner, I'll put it in a white plain sleeve or a plastic sleeve, so that way it doesn't even ruin the inner, because that will jump around. And I've got records that I bought, and I've been pretty lucky, but I do have records that have been bought where the seam hits on eBay, and you know, depending on the, I would contact that seller. That's not the post office's fault. You're supposed to be proactive. So that's always a good tip when you're mailing records. And you know, we've done videos on how to package records if you look through my archives. So here's the box. Really nice, like I said, again, $250. And we're going to clean this record too, but I just want to go over this book, A Brief History. This was also number 95, I think, in my issue, which is old. It's maybe 20 years old, of Rolling Stone's greatest 500 records of all time. It's on the 1001 Records You Must Hear. You know, Miles Davis was breaking all barriers when this record came out. So here we have Miles Davis, 1970. This says 1978, but I believe 1970. Yeah, released 1970. I believe it was recorded in 69. Miles Davis began to consolidate his recent electronic experimentations. The artwork is a painting by German artist Matti Klarwein, and is in keeping with other out there artworks at the time for rock musicians. See Santana's Abraxas. Same artist, you'll notice, that did Abraxas, and I'll show you Abraxas while I'm here. It's also in this book. The fact that he was breaking out and even, wait. At this time, Miles is courting a mixed audience, most of whom were rock and pop fans rather than jazz aficionados. He was also beginning to play in rock venues, exposing him to a much wider audience. The fact that he was breaking out and even reaching out is written large on the artwork. The artwork is very experimental as well. A Janus-like figure with one white face, one black face. The black staring out from the front of the sleeve, the white from the back are joined together on the rear sleeve by a pair of entwined hands. Again, one white, one black. The fusion is brought to life in the music, which sets the template for all fusion jazz records to come. From a jazz artist usually confined in the wider public's mind to a black audience, it was a mission statement like no other made before, and it showed Miles' older, more conservative jazz audience that he is still on the move. And here we have, it was released 1970, CBS Records. Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Joe Jananu from Weather Report were writers of these compositions. And here you have the Santana Abraxas. So you can see the artwork, same artwork. And what's interesting is when I pull this out of the archives, it's from an old pal of mine. Here's his handwriting. And have an excellent 30th birthday. Hello to the missus too. Cheers and thank you. This is from Lamar. Thank you, Lamar. Hope you get to see this video. I know you'll probably fall asleep by now, but that's 30 years. That's 38 years ago. I've had this book. 38 years ago, he shipped it to me. He was in Florida. So thanks, Lamar. I finally used it, man. I love this book. And here's the card. That's amazing. Here is my copy again that we will be referring to in the AB. The tubes are warming up. I'm going to clean this in a couple minutes, and that will be it. But I really appreciate you guys watching. We will take the glasses off when we clean, but I'll put them on for the ending. Really appreciate you watching. Just stay tuned for 1 second. We're going to pause this, go back to the VPI, and we'll clean this record, these two records. You always clean new records. I found that the sound stage is deeper, more defined, sonically more defined, stereo imaging more defined, whatever. I know it might be psychological, it's a new record, but I don't think the new records are clean. So I always clean my old and new records. Hold on 1 second. We'll be right back. Okay, I just put this on, and I'm reluctant to say, or I loathe to say, that it looks like it's slightly warped. So I'm going to clean it. I'm actually going to play it, see what it looks like on the table, maybe with my weight, but it has like a little bit of a warp to it. And if it is a major warp, you actually can hear when it swishes around. So just hold on 1 second. Okay. Put on a little of this. Try to keep the label clean. I use this brush, which is nylon. I really get into the grooves. This one I won't really be too aggressive since it is new. Just want to swish it around. Any plastic that's left in there from the press will be sucked out. And I recommend you rinse off with distilled. I'm not going to do that now to save time. But let me just pause this and take this up, and maybe you could see the warp. You could see, or we could actually press down because it's a little bit of a bowl. Maybe with, like I said, with the weight, it will not be a factor. Shouldn't happen. See, this is kind of pushed up. You can see that went and tightened down. Just in case the people from Music Direct want to know about this, we will show them, but we're going to clean it and give it a shot. And I talked about that earlier. You know, you keep these records inside their sleeves for years and years because they're valuable and they're limited, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen with these records through the years. And we will do the second record. Okay, this record seems a little better. It seems to be not warped. Not perfect, though. I'm kind of concerned. So check your pressings, people. I didn't get that whoosh because I think the clamp held down record 1 pretty well. And maybe it's just a bowl in the middle by the label. So we shall see. We're going to crank this baby up. Go. And there's the label. We'll pull out. Flipped it over. Pressing looks good. I didn't see if this was translucent. It doesn't look translucent. It looks kind of solid. Not sure if the Thriller was solid or not. The Thriller 33. I'm not sure. Don't remember. Just a little bit of with the brush, just to get whatever's loose in there out. And there it is. So there you have it. We will check this out and get back to you. Really appreciate you watching. Tony's LPs Are Us. Really appreciate the subs. If you haven't subbed, please consider it. And thank you. Ciao.